Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a quick video for anyone who's thinking about getting a supercharger in their Gladiator, in their JL, in their JK, whatever. I've been kind of contemplating kicking the idea around and thinking about doing it with the Gladiator, but haven't decided which one to go with. And while I was at SEMA, I had the opportunity to talk to two different manufacturers, Magnuson and Sprintex. And this video isn't in favor of either one. I'm not endorsing either one or saying buy either one. It's just some information. I had the opportunity to speak with two people with one person from each company, and they gave me some really good information. I will probably watch this video myself a couple times just to try to absorb it all, because I'm not a supercharger wizard at all. So I hope this is helpful. Check out both. Watch the video till its end. If you get a chance, like, subscribe, comment below what your thoughts are. If you have any information about superchargers, let us know so that we can get a little more educated. And I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks so much. Welcome back. Today we're here with Jay Upton from Sprintex Industries, and they make a supercharger.
Absolutely.
Supercharger and an e-charger for the Jeep Gladiator, the Jeep Wrangler as well, and a couple other vehicles, I believe.
Indeed.
And so I met Jay here yesterday, and we had a really interesting conversation. I want to bring this to you now. There's only a couple players in the supercharger market for the JT, for the Wrangler, and this is one of them. I wanted to talk with them. Tell me a little bit about your product and also about Sprintex. How long has the company been in business? Where are you guys from?
Well, thank you for coming in today, Brian, and having us on.
My pleasure.
Sprintex is basically a compressor company that's been around for a long time. We started in the UK 40 years ago. We've been making clean air compressors for various applications for all of that time. Many of them used for automotive supercharging. We've been in automotive superchargers for as long as I can remember, almost. And we've become synonymous with Jeep because there's such a demand and such a good application for us. Because typically the Jeeps have smaller motors and no big motor option. People need more power. So that's primarily why we have been so long in the Jeep market.
Awesome. And so what other vehicles do you also have this product for?
We've always done some smaller cars for the Asia market and for the US markets. Things like the Toyota 86 and the Subaru BRZ. We've done the little Hondas.
Okay.
Mini, BMW Mini, various different things.
That's got to be pretty cool, a supercharged Mini.
Absolutely, it is cool.
Yesterday we talked a little bit about what sets your supercharger apart from some of the competitors that are out there. And one of the things you brought up was the lower range RPM torque increase that you get. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
And what that's about is the Sprintex is a twin screw compressor. What that means is it compresses air internally, which gives it a low speed efficiency advantage over every Rouge type supercharger out there. So, for instance, using this as an example, the 3.6 cars, we can add 50 foot-pounds at 1,000 RPM and 100 foot-pounds at 2,000 RPM.
So pretty much almost at idle, you're getting 50 more pounds of torque.
When you're off-road, most people would know you drop it into full low and it picks up the idle RPM. Right. You don't even have to touch the gas. You can just let it go along, and it's got boost as well. It'll do much better than it did stop.
So you're going to have that extra torque without having to rev the engine, which is kind of key, mostly because the people I know that use these Gladiators, they're out there, they're at a low RPM, and so they wouldn't even see the torque benefit otherwise with one of the competitors.
The other thing that's important about it is as we've developed in motor cars, we have seen cars used to do 2,800 or 3,000 on the highway, then they did 2,500, and then they did 2,000, now they do 1,800 on the highway.
Especially something like this has got an 8-speed transmission.
So this with the 8-speed, it will hold 8th gear on the highway at 1,800 or 2,000 RPM, and that will actually improve your gas mileage.
So will you actually, if someone installs this, they'll actually see an improvement in fuel economy?
It depends a little bit on what they have in the way of axle gears and tires, but 12 to 18 JKs. People who have stock 410 gears and 37s, they're saying 3 miles a gallon better around town and 4 miles a gallon better on the highway.
That's pretty good.
That's not me, that's the customers.
Yeah, that's really good, especially with Joe Biden as president right now.
Absolutely. I mean, the cost of gas today. So what I tell people is, it makes about the same performance as a 6.4 Hemi, 392. Genuinely does. You can go out and race one and beat it.
Right.
So you can go to the Jeep show and you can play around and do burnouts, and you can drive home like a 4-cylinder on.
Well, and now they're not going to make a lot of people were anticipating the 392 Gladiator, and now that's off the table.
Gone, yeah.
So this is one way to get that kind of performance without breaking the bank, considerably less money as well.
Absolutely. There's another benefit to that. If you were thinking about a Hemi swap, it's probably a 3-week operation and 25, 28 grand, you know?
Yeah.
This kind of a conversion is 100% reversible. We don't ask anybody to drill a hole, cut anything, bend anything, or weld anything. We supply every nut, bolt, washer, and screw, including the zip ties. So you can do this conversion in one day. It's 100% reversible, and they're going to cost you less than 7 grand.
A guy like me in my garage, I've got better than average tools, you know, because I do a lot of this kind of stuff. Would I be able to do this, or is this professional only?
As I said, you don't need any special. As long as you have good tools, and
torque wrenches,
instructions,
yeah,
you can do it.
What about the programming of the computer? Is that something that's got to be sent out?
Yes, there's some differences on years. So
okay.
let's take the 12 to 18s. Well, 12, 13, 14, you can just program it directly. We provide a little unit in our box, which comes with an online tune in it. There'll be a little bit of online
little download, a little this, that,
a little bit
configuration.
Of that. But most people are reasonably tech savvy and can follow along with that.
Okay.
So 12, 13, 14 is the easiest. When you start into 15 to 18 or anything 15 and later, the PCM, the powertrain control module out of the car, has to come out and go out and get unlocked, because they're all locked to prevent people from tuning it.
Right. What kind of time frame is that?
With Diablo, which is what we use for 12 to 18, typically you can overnight it to them one day, they'll do it the next day and overnight it back.
So
it's
3 or 4 days, let's say. Worst case scenario, it's a weekend, you're looking at maybe 5 days.
It a little longer. We recommend to people that they do that before they think about installing.
Or pull that first and then start breaking things down.
1 week, and then think about the install after it's done. But it'll still...
So could I take it out, send it to you, reinstall it even without your unit in, and it'll run?
It's still a stock PCM. It just has the security unlocked.
Ah, gotcha. And then we can flash it once we have everything installed. Oh, that's really good to know.
Yeah, so that's a little bit different on the later 18 to 22s, because we're using HP tuners with that. So same process, it has to come out and go out and get unlocked. And we provide a device
to do
tuning via cloud, actually, for them.
Where do you manufacture the units? Where
Assembled in Auburn Hills, Michigan, so here in the U.S. The actual supercharger is made in our own facility for the last 10 years in Malaysia.
Okay.
So different parts in different places, but the actual system is assembled here in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and ships from Auburn Hills, Michigan.
Gotcha. So I let you know yesterday, too, I haven't heard of your company before, and I was really surprised to find, because I was under the impression that there was only 1 or 2 other players in this arena. So how long has the company been? You said...
Well, the company's been around for about 40 years, and probably the reason that nobody knows much about us at this moment is the pandemic.
Right.
So we had a decent footprint in the U.S. pre-pandemic and worldwide. Our biggest single customer is the Middle East.
Oh, yeah?
And that's a bit of a... We're pleased to say that, because there's a very tough environment to be operating in.
Yeah.
And people like our product there because it's tough. So during the pandemic, where our headquarters in Australia was closed for 707 days. That's 2 years.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah. Malaysia factory was closed for 4 months to the point nobody allowed in the door even, not a single person.
Yeah.
And our Suzhou facility was closed for 4 months this year, all COVID lockdowns. So people have forgotten about us a little bit in the interim.
Where do people buy your products? Do I get them online? Do you have a string of dealers?
You can buy it several ways. 2 or 3 distributors carry it. Quadratech carries it. Maya carries it. A couple of different distributors. Various off-road shops around the country carry it. You can always buy it from SprintexSuperchargers.com. Ships directly out. You can buy it today and it'll be with you in 2 or 3 days.
Okay. What about customer support? Let's say I get halfway through the install and I got to figure something out. Is there somebody in the U.S. I can call, or am I calling Malaysia? Or?
No, it's going to be in U.S. It's going to be out of Michigan the same.
So you have tech support.
You can deal with Eastern time zone.
Okay.
You can manage.
Hey guys, I'm here with Todd from Magnuson Superchargers, and Todd's going to tell us a little bit about what this can add to your Gladiator, your Wrangler. This will work on the newer units, or how far back?
3.6 Pentastar motors.
3.6 Pentastar. And what's it going to bring to the table? What's it going to do for us?
It bumps it up to about 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. That's at the crank. So obviously a little different at the tire.
Yeah.
And it definitely depends on the size of the tire, but it's it makes such an improvement over the stock output. I wouldn't say they're anemic from the factory, but they surely are not overpowered.
So these installation time, where do I get it done? Is it something that I can do as a hobbyist or something?
Sure. Yeah, our install manuals are very thorough. I would say we pride ourselves on that aspect of our engineering as well. Even though there probably are fewer and fewer hobbyists that still enjoy doing this type of work, there are still a decent amount. And so we engineer it, and we have an install manual to guide the guy who wants to put it on in his own garage. Obviously, if that's not you,
then you have
a professional mechanic. We do have dealers that specialize in installations as well.
Cost-wise, what is something like this going to be?
This unit, retails for about $7,200. That includes everything that you need. So there's no additional componentry that you need to go
Everything out the door. Zip ties.
Yeah, that's calibration.
The works.
All the cooling system components for the intercooler. It runs off the factory belt drive. So there's no additional pulley that has to be, designed or added to the system. It's very integrated.
What's the process for the PCM upgrade? How are we going to do that? We're going to pull it first,
the PCM does get sent in. It goes actually directly to HP tuners.
Okay.
They unlock it, and then it's sent back, and then we send a calibration file to the VIN, and it's ready to be uploaded at the user end at that point.
Okay.
And that's, so, that aspect's pretty well settled. The problem is that only goes to about 2021, halfway through, for the GPEC 2.
Okay.
Whereas then they rolled out the GPEC 5, which is a new ECU.
Okay.
And that is not available yet. Nobody's cracked it.
So somebody wants to get this unit, you're not going past the 2021 right now.
Right now.
If I got a 2022 Gladiator,
if you have a 21, you even have to check which ECU is in it, because it was a mid-year.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's kind of hairy if you're going to crack the PCM and the ECU and all this kind of stuff, but it's going to give you so much more performance. We talked a little bit about the warranty, and I know I read on the website it's a 35,000 mile warranty. You pointed out that that's from when the vehicle goes in service.
Right. So it's a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty that we offer on the original drivetrain, powertrain. So that's from date of service. So if you buy the vehicle, let's say in 2021, it would cover for 3 years or 36,000 miles from zero.
From zero.
From zero.
So let's say somebody comes to the table with a Jeep that's got 40,000 miles on it.
It's already out of that warranty.
So no warranty at all.
Yeah, because the drivetrain warranty from Jeep is already done.
Right, understandable. What if somebody bought a brand new engine, let's say, and put it on there?
Because that's not the original drivetrain warranty.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. So if you're thinking about doing an upgrade like this,
There are a lot of benefits, a little bit on the risk side as well, but
Of course, yeah.
it depends on how you drive and so forth. A lot of people talk about the benefit of a supercharger and the performance you're going to get. Some of the criticisms I've heard is you don't get any of the benefit until you get to about 2,500 RPMs or more.
I mean, this is a hybrid root style supercharger, so it makes boost basically on the same power lines that the factory motor output is. So if you look at the factory torque curve, ours is going to pretty much mirror that. It's just going to be elevated.
Increased.
Right.
So let's say like 1,000 RPMs, which I know one of your competitors talks about how at lower RPMs that their curve is different than yours. They have a higher output at lower RPMs.
Yeah, and depending on how they do that, that could be the case. They could be overdriving it so that boost is there, but that comes at a cost on efficiency and heat. Again, it being a hybrid root style supercharger, that design in and of itself makes for pretty much instantaneous boost response.
So that's right there.
So yeah, compared to like a centrifugal style supercharger, that has more of a power curve similar to a turbo because it's related except it's belt driven.
Right.
So you have to ramp up into that power to get to it, where ours is designed to be down low.
So that's just
But there is factory torque protections for the transmission, torque vectoring, and we don't move those because we don't,
Right.
we don't, and that's some of the other things that I can't explain anybody else's product, but there are ways that you can delete that, but we don't because we don't want to
and that would
create
all
problems.
be done in the PCM.
That's in your calibration.
Yeah. With that in mind, do you guys do custom calibrations and stuff
We
like
don't.
that? No.
No.
I'm sure there are people that do.
There are.
probably
There's a
once it's
lot. There's a
unlocked.
lot of them out there. I mean, we can accommodate some wheel and tire changes, but I think it's important for everybody to understand. You know, we're a company that's been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
We exist in California. You know, we're in Ventura, California. We manufacture our products.
I love Ventura. I used to live up
Yeah,
there.
it's a great town.
Good
a
people.
lot of good businesses there. But
Is this manufactured there as well?
Yes,
So
yeah.
everything's done in the USA,
Uh-huh.
which is
Yeah.
that's really good because I can't think of too many other companies that actually have service, support, everything. You pick up the phone, you call them, you
We're
get
all
them right
here,
here.
yeah. So
that's important.
it's something that, you know, we pride ourselves on that, and being in the state that we're in, particularly, this is
California's
emissions
rough.
legal.
Yeah.
So, and I know in a lot of places people say, oh, well, we don't have that, but I mean, that keeps us out of the crosshairs.
Right.
So, and that limits what we can do on calibration. That's why the question about can you do anything extra? Once we've got it past an EO with California Air Resource Board,
Right.
it's locked. We really can't go beyond that.
Gotcha.
So, and I think most people understand that once they hear it.
Well, and that's important, especially on resale of the vehicle. If you're going to sell it after you put something like this in, which maybe you decide you want the diesel because you got the torque there or something. Maybe
Right.
you decide you want the Wrangler instead of the Gladiator, or vice versa, probably.
Right.
But number one, the Magnuson looks amazing. I've seen the product installed, and it looks gorgeous. It looks factory. It looks stock.
That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
Is an OEM style integration that you pop the hood in, it looks like they put it there.
Great. Anything else you want to tell us about Magnuson, or just that you want to highlight about it? You know.
We really enjoy the off-road side of our market. I mean,
Yeah.
It's so funny how people in different segments think of us. You know, the hot rod side and the muscle car side is
Right.
always surprised how much we do in the Jeep community and Toyota. We have
How
a
well
huge
does
Toyota
the product
following.
sell? Compared with all your other products, how do you feel that
Our Jeep products are consistently in the top 5. So it's been, I mean, these vehicles are beloved. Obviously, they have a cult-like following, and it's tough with some of the newest powertrains. People are left wanting more, you know. And we hope that they find a solution here at
Well,
Magnuson.
One of the great things about this is price point. You said if someone's going to buy this around $7,000.
72, yep.
If you're going to go and get the diesel, it's going to run you $9,000 at the dealer more. So you save $2,000. You're going to get twice the mileage on a diesel, But right now, thanks to Joe Biden,
Yeah, the
we're
fuel.
25 days until we have no more diesel in the United States.
It's really
so
bad.
it is. It's becoming more. My wife has a diesel Wrangler, and it's harder and harder for her to find diesel. So if you can,
And the cost has been driven higher.
it's higher than the cost of even 92
Exactly.
octane. So you get the efficiency without as much of the cost. They were talking about making the 392, which from what I've heard, they're not going to do that any longer. But this would actually produce more torque and more horsepower than the 392 had they gone ahead with that, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the 392 was going to be considerably more.
The 392 guys are asking for a supercharger too, so that might be
that's
coming.
crazy. Seriously, that would be amazing. You know, I can't even imagine. It'd be like a 600. It'd be like
It'll be
what do they call that?
astounding.
There's the Hellcat. It would be like a Hellcat.
Right. That's what it'll be like. I mean, that's usually around 150 horsepower gain.
That's a lot. Well, Todd, thank you, man. I really appreciate
Nice
the
meeting
talk.
you, Brian.
Yeah,
Thanks
likewise.
for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the show.